Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to all the speakers. Now we have a few minutes for some questions. I don't know if there are any questions for the speakers. No.
Oh. Hi. Hello. This is a question for Ingmar. I mean, we all know that the Estonian registry is an example of technology. It's very impressive, of course. You have said that you can have the world record for incorporation, right? 18 minutes. That's quite impressive. But do you really think that within 18 minutes you can make a proper check and have a real reliable information and to give the information you register with the legal effects for the market? I mean, because you could incorporate one company within seconds. You don't need even 18 minutes. I mean, via internet, you can press a button and you have a company incorporated if you don't make any control at all. So I think it's not a matter of time, but a matter of what's the activity you make in the time you use to incorporate the companies. Thank you.
Thank you, Andres. Very good question. Well, the 18 minutes is just a promotional idea to show that it's really fast. We just measured it straight from the beginning, when you sit behind the computer, and up to the point when you have a legal entity. In real life, in real situation, it works. All the payments, all the checkings, everything is in this 18 minutes. And we wanted to make the system so automated so that there is nothing to check for the human. So there is a human check today behind, and the human checks the name of a company because it has to be unique enough. Today we don't have enough technology to make the same work by machine to verify the name. But basically the name is the only thing. Of course, the registrar looks over the information as well, but it's actually a few clicks. It means that everything else is automatically checked. We check from the population register that this person is registered, it's alive. We check from different other registers, trade bans, etc., etc., etc. We have automated, we have standardized articles. You cannot enter free text there, only choices. That's why we can translate it into many languages. So the system works in 2 languages. And the interesting part is that the Estonian court, where the companies are registered, works in Estonian language. But the users are using English language. So what we have done is that we generate both of the documents in 2 languages automatically, check it automatically, and all that the human has to check is the name, that it should be unique enough. So all this makes it possible to go fast. But as I mentioned, the average is 2 hours. Record is 18 minutes. And it's just enough to guarantee the legal certainty. And we haven't had any problems in that since 2007.
Thank you. Question for Ingmar. So the percentage of electronically submitted applications was really high, but most companies have more members. So do you support successive electronic signature from all members of the company because they have to sign the memorandum of association? Or how do you know that all members agree with online submission of application for registration of the company?
Thank you. Very good, Tia. Very good question. Yes, the short answer would be yes. All the board members, all the founders, they have to sign the application electronically with electronic signature. As over 95% of Estonians have this electronic ID as a mandatory document in Estonia, so they can use this ID quite well. And the system works this way that one person starts the application, fills in all the necessary information, other board members, other shareholders, etc. And then those persons can be across the world, use their own computer, log in with their ID card or mobile ID, see the same application, and say that the signature is pending. So all they have to do is sign it, and when all the signatures are done, you can submit the application away for processing. So there is no maximum limit of shareholders or board members. There can be multiple.
Following the line of my colleague Andres Illa, the expression of 80 minutes is really wonderful, very nice, but if it is no more than a marketing expression, is right. But I am one of the responsibles of the Central Mercantile Registry, and one of my jobs is just to examine the question of names. I can assure you that the identity, the substantial identity of the name can be made in 2 minutes, no 2 minutes, by electronic means. The similarities cannot be made in 2 minutes, no 80 minutes, because it is absolutely necessary the intervention of a human analysis. And then we, members of the European Union, we are compelled just to apply the rules connected with trademarks. And this is very important, industrial property. So many names applied by people can create confusion in what refers well-known trademarks. And this cannot be made by the computers, of course. So the expression 1 hour, 24 hours can be revised. And above all, in this conference, in which the main title is reliability. Second aspects, I see that you kill notaries. I am the son of a notary and the father of another notary. But without any joke, the identity card, the electronic means just to identify the personality of the actor, can be admitted, but take into consideration 2 real social situations existing all over the world. First, old people. Old people can be used, even by the family, using their cards, just to make some businesses. This is a well-known question by all the notaries and people, lawyers, intervening in activities of old people, disabled people, and so on. So the identification is not only a question of personal identification. The capacity is absolutely substantial by assuring the validity of the acts. Thank you very much.
Yes, I would say that very good remark. The trademarks in the company name registration play very important role, and especially in European trademarks, not only trademarks registered in the member state. The name checking can be fast enough. It works. It has been proved in Estonia. But still we need a person. Machines are not yet ready to make this happen. And the other topic of influencing old people when using ID cards, in some sense, yes, you're right. But what is the situation different today? You can influence the old people today anyways. Especially in elections. In Estonia, it's possible to elect in parliamentary elections or local elections. You can vote via internet. You don't have to go anywhere. And what we do is we help our elderly in using these e-services anyways. And if somebody wants to affect the decisions of an old person, yes, they can do it even today. That's no difference. And then it is the matter of law enforcement institutions to make sure afterwards whether there was a problem in that sense or not. The electronic identity makes this whole services and electronic signature as well makes it simpler. It makes a little bit different, but the overall situation will be the same as it is today. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say some words on that as well, of course, because notaries were mentioned. It might be, Ingmar, that in Estonia and Estonian elections the situation is already like that, but I think almost nowhere, at least I don't know any country, in elections notaries are involved for your vote. That would be pretty strange as well. For instance, if I take a look on the German situation, of course, the whole idea of preventive justice is that you can also have a look on capacity, that you can also have a look on the person in front of you and try to figure out, by having a conversation, by having certain ways of discussing the topic with the person in front of you, to analyze whether or not this person has capacity and or is influenced by other persons as well. And that no machine can do, I think.
I have a question for both Johannes and Ingmar. It's always a question when the EID is concerned about the duplicity of roles. So how is it supposed to be solved by the EIDAS project, and also how is it solved in Estonia for a person who is an official and working with the e-identity? So does the X-Road system behind it recognizes when this person is online and using its e-identity as a private person or as an official, registering a company, or do they have double EIDs or, signatures? That is also a question what I'm wondering, how is it solved by the project? And also sometimes, yes, you said that the goal of project is not to affect the legal or procedural obligations or forms, but I see, especially in Croatia, that the procedures will have to change a lot because by law, sometimes the head of the institution is the only one who can make a signature of some very big decision, and it is almost impossible to reach a minister to click and save, or just our mindset will have to change. So that's also the question: how do you really plan to change the roles of authorities in signing and making the most important decisions? Thank you.
Again, very good question. In Estonia, it is decided straight from the beginning that we will have a public-private partnership in the sense of electronic identity. So the same identity will be used in government sector, will be used in private sector, and everywhere. And inside this identity, there is no more additional information than it is printed on the card. Well, electronic certificates as well. So in order you to get an information about the role, a good example is a business register. If you want to know that can this person represent a company, so the system checks via X-Road from the business register with this national ID code, which companies can this person represent. And all the services are built in a way that if you want to apply for a license for operating in some activities, then the system will notify you have these 10 companies, which are one of those companies you want to apply the license for. And this information is taken from the business register. If we had a register of public officials, which in some weird reasons it's not yet there, then it would be working the same way, that the system will check this person has a right. So we have a list of public officials in our state portal, so the system will know that this person enters, and I need to choose the role, whether I am a public official at this point, or I am an entrepreneur, or I'm just a citizen that wants to apply for a service.
Yeah, maybe I can answer the second part of your question, because they're directly related to my presentation. I hope I was not misunderstood. I did not want to say that EIDAS has no effect whatsoever, quite the opposite. But that depends on your national law. And that procedures, technical procedures especially, but also most probably legal procedures have to be changed. I think that's pretty clear for almost all jurisdictions here. But the scope does not affect legal form requirements. That means that if you have a legal form requirement, you cannot say that EIDs from other countries have to be accepted and that's enough if your form requirement is, for instance, to have a notarial authentication in between as well.
Last question from Carsten.
Yeah. Thank you for giving the floor to me, and thank you as well for this very interesting presentation about the e-box project. And I think it's a lot of value in it. From the technical point of view, I see some similarities to that what the European Commission is doing with the BRIS project, the architecture. Had you taken into account the technical architecture or the technical standards that the Commission will provide, or related into sustainability? Or do you think that you can use the BRIS system in the future, or interconnect your gateways to the BRIS system?
Yeah, thanks, Carsten. Good question. And to be honest with you, we monitored the developments with the anti-money laundering directive as we were going through the process. And timelines, we were a little bit out of sync, I suppose. But in our sustainability considerations, that's one of the main things that we're looking at. Whatever technology that would need to go into be a production level system would certainly have to link in what recommendations are in the directive, and the BRIS is certainly in there. So it is in the sustainability. Unfortunately, we were too early in the project with the directions from the Commission, but it is one of the areas that we have to look at. As I say, who would host this, who would house this, and we have to make sure that the production level environment, if it was to proceed beyond the existing life of this project, would be able to support the BRIS and would be able to dovetail within that. The timelines for when it would become part of the BRIS is quite a number of years away. I think when we did some analysis on it, you were getting up to 2023 by the time that the BRIS platform would be able to house a network like this. That's subjective. That's some analysis internally from ourselves. But yes, sustainability-wise, it's a consideration for us. At this moment in time, it's just a prototype proof of concept. We'd have to put in a production system, and we'd also have to extend it beyond the 5 business registers or member states that we have. But
So, thank you to all you 5. Thank you for the audience, and I think it's time for